Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Toon Kind at 12 FPS. This one's called Gold Rush. I am Wick, and I am joined here by the lovely and wonderful.
Hi, I'm Candlestick. I'm very excited for this game and also a little bit nervous.
Ooh, I'm excited too.
Wick was like in my DMs last night, "Hey, how do you feel about the angst rating for this game being medium?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine with that. Is there any particular reason or is it a surprise?" And I just get, "It's a surprise." And I'm like,
It's a
"Oh,
surprise
good."
too. That'll help us later. Though I did put some content warnings in the announcement, so
Yeah,
um,
yeah. So
so yeah,
this should be
no.
good.
I hope so. But I suppose we start. What did you want to say?
Oh, I was just gonna say maybe introduce who we're playing.
Oh, right. Whoops. Well, you can go first,
I'm going to be playing my absent-minded grandma dragon Alice.
which we love. Uh, and I'm gonna be playing Casey Nash, who is just a disgruntled cashier who is currently on a mission.
And look at that, just a cashier.
Yeah, yep, just a cashier, just vibing, trying to get through the workday.
hmm
but but on this particular day, uh, she is headed to Alice's house. Uh, she probably just got off of her shift at the grocery store, but she has everything she needs uh, that she'll bring. So it's probably like maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon. It's still light out, but you can tell there's probably not as many people milling about as there are like maybe in at high noon, whatnot.
Fair enough.
Sorry, high noon.
That's when
but
all the showdowns happen, so there's actually less
yes.
people at high noon.
But so she's just making her way downtown, walking fast,
Walking faster.
walking faster. A piano rolls past. You just hear the faint sound of piano music. Anyway, but yeah, there is nothing else really of note about her. She is in her uniform. She's just kind of heading right from work to the house. But she is also carrying a sleek black briefcase.
Ooh.
But we'll get to that. I think we'll switch perspective now to Alice. What are you up to?
Um, let's see. For the sake of actually getting the plot moving, she's not in her garden. She's probably in the house somewhere because, my god, she needs to be close to the door if she's going to hear it, given how she rolls on perception. So, I think she's, you know what, maybe she's like knitting and watching the TV in the lounge room. Yeah, I think that's what she's up to at the moment. I
I
think.
wish I wish that were me.
Yeah, I think Mr. Snuggles at the moment is out in the yard, probably digging up the flower beds.
Oh no. Again.
Yep. Look,
oh.
this happens like once a week. It's a weekly ritual at this point.
Oh boy. I sure love Mr. Snuggle.
Look, on the downside, this means that she has to replace the flowers every week. On the plus side, it means she gets different flowers every week.
uh, but I think at this particular instance, would you like to roll a perception check?
I would love to roll a perception check.
Oh boy.
Let me just find, where did I hide the character sheet? When you have too many tabs open.
Oh, I feel that.
Perception. There is your modifier.
Perfect. Stunning. Beautiful. For the audience, that's a 4. You know.
Look, Alice has a +2 in perception. I don't think I've rolled above a 10 plus modifier on her perception, except for like once.
So, Alice, you're just minding your business. You're really into the television show that you're watching. I don't know what you're watching, but
Probably some sort of soap opera. There's like something really dramatic happened. Like, no, I am your sister, and it's just like from Alice's as it happens.
uh,
Yep. So,
so unfortunately, Alice, you do not hear the. I mean, to be fair, Casey knocks rather softly. You you probably wouldn't hear it even if you weren't watching a show.
I do have this to save me at the very least. Yep.
Oh.
Alice may not hear you, but someone else definitely does. And Mr. Snuggles runs through the house, and right up to the front door with a bark, 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 bark. And I think that is probably enough to get Alice's attention. Is like, oh, right, oh, right. Oh, someone at the door. Oh, thank you, Mr. Snuggles. I I did not hear that. And she's like, all right. No, don't. Come on, you gotta move.
Meanwhile, Casey just standing here outside, like,
You could probably hear
yep.
this through the door.
Yeah.
In fact, okay, I think it's gonna be funny. I'm going to roll something else.
Something else?
Just for the fun of it.
Okay.
Oh, cool, same modifiers.
Nice. A 7 and a 16. I don't know what it's for, though. Uh-oh.
There were strength rolls against each other to see.
Uh-oh.
Casey, you might want to make a dex save when she opens the door.
A dex save, okay. That's a 12.
Alright, I need to roll a dex.
Ooh. Oh, 11! Just barely.
Just barely. The door opens and you have just enough time to see a white furball throwing itself at you. You manage to like step to the side just in time, and Mr. Snuggles like shoots past, and there's the tail wagging, and it's just like, oh, I thought I had a better grip on him. Mr. Snuggles, back inside now. Oh, dear, it's so wonderful to see you. Come in.
It's Casey's just like, oh, okay. She's just gonna carefully step inside, and yeah, she kind of makes her way in here. She is careful not to step on Mr. Snuggles or anything while they're just skittering about.
Yeah. it's probably making your way around the newly formed piles of stuff that have been slowly accumulating since you cleaned her house.
She's just like sidestepping a couple things, like, but she won't comment.
Fair enough. I think I think Alice is gonna try and wrangle Mr. Snuggles outside. Like go, go. Mm. And I'm not gonna roll for it again. I'm just gonna say that. Pardon me. Um, that it just happens. Like maybe takes a bit, but yeah, she does like shoo Mr. Snuggles out the door into the yard again. It's like no jumping.
Jumping. Oh man.
But then yeah,
But,
she's I think at the same time she's like, "Oh, what brings you here, dear? Do you want anything? I can make tea, or I have cookies." And she's not going to ramble as much as she normally does, but she is like, do you need anything? Why are you here? It may take you a little bit before you get to answer her question.
and it's fine. Casey's patient. Um, when she can find the opportunity to say something, she says, uh, "No, that's okay. In fact, it's probably best if we get straight to the point." But as she says this, would you like to make an insight check?
Oh boy, I would love to.
You can do it with advantage too.
Oh, insight.
Insight.
Insight is actually one of her better modifiers, and I hope I'm not jinxing myself by saying that. I mean, I could be, considering that perception is not a bad modifier, and yet she always rolls really terribly on it.
Well, sometimes it just happened like that.
13.
I have to say that's probably enough. I mean, after all, there are two noticeable things.
Mm.
The first thing you notice is, she's wearing her usual attire, but she is holding a black briefcase. Uh, and you probably wonder what that's about. But you will also notice that her free hand is kind of lingering near, like, her midsection. It's just kind of lightly resting there. But as as she says to get straight to the point, you hear a low gurgling sound, and you realize that that's her stomach. Casey is hungry, and she pauses, and you get the vibe that she's like, "Oh, I really hope she didn't hear that." But also, I just paused, so that means she probably did hear it. Uh-oh.
There is a very stern look from Alice as she's like, "Now, dear, I'm sure it's very important, but nothing is more important than making sure you're taking care of yourself. Are you sure
um,
you don't want anything to eat?"
um, I, I am, if I may be so bold, I am taking care of myself. I just came back from work, and, well, I haven't. And then you hear another gurgle, but she kind of like she kind of pokes at her stomach, like, "Shut up."
Is
I just haven't had lunch yet. I usually do when I get home.
Well, I mean, I might be able to find something that you like. Uh, what do you eat, dear? And she's like moving to the fridge.
me, both me and Casey are like, "Uh-oh, I don't know." What does she eat? I don't know. Um, uh, she she doesn't say anything at first. She kind of still has one of her hands kind of in that waving gesture, like, you don't have to worry about that. Um, but uh, yet another gurgle resounds from her stomach. And she's just like, it it doesn't quite, you don't have to make me anything, uh,
My dear,
anything extravagant. Uh,
I have more than enough food. Now, vegetarian, vegan, carnivore, raw or cooked, any dietary restrictions?
uh, um, she she thinks for a moment. Um, I um, anything that is cooked, I guess.
Alright, alright. I think we have roast left over from the other day. Do not worry, in this household, cooked is, I hope you don't mind, well done.
Oh, no, actually, well done's fine. I
Alright.
mean, but you can tell she's still kind of nervous. She's like, "Uh oh, I didn't expect this."
Yeah, so, yep, um, there is like probably like a whole chicken and some roast vegetables and, um, potatoes that are like sort of plonked onto the counter in front of you, and like then some plates and cutlery, and Alice is not paying you any attention, so like she's still sort of like puttering around the kitchen, may occasionally plonk something else in front of you, but she's not really paying you mind.
Do you need any help? I'm sorry for intruding.
And there's a definite wave of the hand, like, oh no, no trouble. Your company is not an intrusion. It's lovely to get people over. And you're welcome to if you want to, but I have more than got this. She lifts something probably pretty heavy out of the fridge, and you're like, how did that fit in there?
Yeah, she's just standing there like, okay. So she kind of stands there for a little longer, and then she realizes kind of how awkward she might be. So she's just kind of just sidesteps over to the to the table and just kind of sits down. She's like, "Well, I'm here now. I guess I'll just, you know."
Like, more the thing is that, Alice is trying to make sure that Casey is comfortable than anything else, and she doesn't know whether that means that Casey wants the company or while she's eating, or wants to be by herself, or so she's just trying to let Casey let her know.
So she she I don't know if she realizes this though.
I mean, to be fair, that's fair enough. Also, I will mention the telly is still on in the background, so you may hear some "How could you? I trusted you!" and
Oh,
stuff in the
wait.
background.
Gia, hold on. I'm gonna roll something. Yeah, okay. Gia, she hears this. She goes, ah, oh, it's that one. you you watch you watch The Gasp?
I do. Do you know it?
Um, well, I mean, my mom would watch it at the house. So
Oh, that's sounds wonderful, dear.
yeah, I didn't know they were still running. What kind of? I wonder how many seasons there are.
I think we're up to season. Oh no, I'm just gonna roll something. Let's see if
Yeah, just roll what season it
just for the fun of
is.
it, I'm gonna roll a d50.
Oh my god! To be fair, this thing's gonna go a long time. 28.
There have
Let's
been.
go.
I think we're up to season 28.
Oh, what season did she leave off on? I think it was. I remember getting up to 15, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't really have cable where I am.
I'm gonna say this is one of those shows that has been running for as long as, like, movies and television has been a thing. Because,
Beautiful.
like, because television and movies and stuff is still relatively new in Inkwell. Like, it's only been a couple of generations, now. So, yeah, like, it's a very long running show.
Yeah. But I will take your insight from earlier
Hmm.
and say that you notice in Casey's voice, you hear kind of when she talks about watching with her mom as well as home, she sounds just a slight bit nostalgic,
Ah.
but that's pretty much all you get.
Hmm. I'm gonna roll a d2, see if Alice comments on this or not.
Uh-oh.
Yep,
Oh.
okay. It's just, hmm. I know that look. It's never easy to be away from your family.
Uh, oh, I mean, I'm not I'm not too far away. Uh, I mean, she does call me like every week, uh, just to check up. So it's it's nothing difficult. Uh, and as she says this, she kind of just stares at the food, but you can tell she's kind of just looking past it. Um, but
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know what I
think
was going to say after that.
Alice is not gonna comment yet, like to see if Casey's sort of finished. Like, give her this time to say what she wants.
but, um, but you can tell though now that she's now distracted by the food. Uh, and you wonder what what gears are turning through her head. She's looking at it like, huh.
It's probably is everything all right, dear? Was I know. Well, I I want you to be comfortable here. So do let me know if I can what I can do to make sure that that's the case.
um, thank you. That's okay. Um, are you gonna sit and eat too?
Oh, yes. I can definitely do that. Sorry, I was just waiting for the kettle to boil. Do you want any tea?
Uh, tea, tea's fine.
Alright, it's just like, very well, how do you take it? Uh, green tea, black tea. I have a lot of different ranges. Do you take milk in your tea, sugar? You get the impression anything you ask of Alice, she probably has some variety of it.
And as you list off the teas, she kind of just gets more and more like, ah, I understand now. that was a that was a loaded question. Um, for whoever's easiest for you, fine.
Okay, very well. I might put us on a pot of Earl Grey. How does that sound?
That's fine by me. Um,
Lovely.
and as you set the tea to steep, I'm guessing the water's done. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the kettle has sort of done that sort of
Yeah, the sound.
and so she takes it off and probably fills up no, actually she probably just takes the entire teapot off of the stove and places it on like a little tea cozy and brings over some teacups and some food for herself. Yeah, you're not quite sure. You think it might be the roast that she's heated up for herself, but it looks very crispy.
And you notice as you bring the food and tea over that even though she has sat down at the table, uh, she kind of has one hand kind of on her lap, but the other still holds the briefcase. She has not set it down, and she has not placed it anywhere.
Hmm. There's a hmm. I think she's gonna. Y- You're more than welcome to put that down, dear, if you would like. I
Um,
do not know
right.
if how important it is,
Sorry.
but it will come to no harm here.
Yeah. Okay. And she does hesitantly and carefully set it down, kind of just next to the chair, kind of propped against it. Uh, and it's then that she then takes a look at her hands. She's still wearing her gloves. You can tell she's contemplating something.
Ooh.
Hmm. And some with some reluctance, uh, she gets up from her chair and asks, "Where's the trash can?"
Oh, the cupboard under the sink.
Right. So she takes a couple steps. She goes to where the cupboard is,
Mm-hmm.
opens it, and there's like the trash can. I would like to imagine that it has like a little doily on it.
Yes, it probably
Just cute
does.
like that.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. It's one of those. It looks very cute. It's got the doily on it. When you open it, there is no bottom.
Right.
Or at the very least, it doesn't have a bottom you can see.
Yeah. It just be like that.
You know what? It very well could be a mimic. But it's a well-behaved one because it gets food so often.
Beautiful. Um, I like that this proves that we've both been looking at the at the gallery the whole time.
Yep.
It
Yep.
is, it's just kind of fun. Anyway, uh, she, you, I don't know if you are quite surprised, but she actually pulls off her gloves with little hesitation,
Oh.
uh, sets them into the trash can, and she makes a motion to go wash her hands at the sink right there, but she stops, steps back, and you know that she's thinking about something else. Uh, and she slowly raises her hands towards her face. Yeah, that's probably going to have to come off too. The mask, I mean.
Hmm.
So this one, she very much hesitates. You can see that she's gripped each of the ear loops, but she hasn't taken it off just yet.
Oh. I think Alice is like she's not gonna say anything. She's sort of looking over if like see if she needs to step in because people can be uh this can be something like this is not the first time she's come across someone who's been uncomfortable keeping something like this from other people. I mean, uh, a gesture at both Whisper and Specs, who
Uh,
so there's like there's no judgment there, just a little bit of concern. Um, I will also mention the bin beneath you. Does There's a bit of a after it
uh, she-
after you drop the
hold
gloves
on.
in there.
Hold on. I want to roll something. Wait, let me see. Do that and then. Oh, okay, it's the same modifier. These are actually two separate rolls, though.
Fair enough.
Okay. I will say for the audience, so that's a whiz save and then a deception roll.
Ooh.
She is a bit startled by this, but you can't quite tell that she is. You notice that she just kind of looks down like, oh yeah, that's a thing. But
I think there's probably a
after
little
that,
bit of a oh, don't mind him. His manners are terrible.
uh, that's 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 okay. she you can tell she actually relaxes just a tiny bit, maybe because of it's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
But she takes hold of the ear loops once more, and in one swift motion, she pulls off the face mask and drops it in the bin.
Ooh.
She kind of nudges the cupboard door closed with her foot and quickly washes her hands before turning around to face you.
Face reveal.
And face reveal. Well, semi face reveal. She still has her glasses on.
True, true.
But but I will say that uh, when she had first entered the house, she had her typical kind of lens flare on, her glasses, so you can't really see her eyes. But
Mhm.
when she turns around to go back to the table, her hands are kind of clenched tight to her sides, and she kind of looks up a little at you, and you can see she's got just two little dot eyes and a pair of patchy eyebrows underneath her glasses. Um,
Oh.
she's got like a little button nose, and her mouth right now is just a slightly wiggly line, as if she is a little nervous, or perhaps even holding her breath. But
Oh,
she
interesting.
tentatively makes her way over,
Um
and she
yep, keep going.
just takes her seat. Uh, and finally, she lets out a little.
I don't think Alice is going to comment on her like face at all. Just a like a very bleh. Sorry. Like you should probably eat the food before it gets cold, dear. I am more than willing to be able to help you heat it up again, but I tend to find the more you heat it up over and over again, the less good it tastes.
she she only nods. But yes, let's go. So that's another whiz save. She got a 6. Um,
Oh
like
dear.
right after the nod, she you are surprised by her voraciousness as she just starts eating. I mean, it's not with her hand. Obviously, she grabs a fork and knife, but she is hurriedly eating, as if it's as if perhaps someone is going to try to take it from her.
Oh, baby.
Um, Yeah,
To be
just
fair,
hungry.
to be fair, this does not phase Alice in the slightest. You think she's got good table mannered grandkids? You are sorely mistaken. She has seen them like eat the plates.
But it could be surprising for someone like Casey. You can tell that uh, it's not like she can help it much. She was hungry, and there's a whole bunch of food, and it does smell really good, and she can't help herself. Uh,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Look, uh, my general rule with Alice is very little phases her, so
I
she's
mean,
just like, all right.
I can imagine. Oh, but uh, this goes on for a little bit, but eventually she just kind of slows down a little as she quickly grows self conscious and and slows down a bit. Uh,
I think there's a little. Would you like seconds, dear?
oh, no, no, that's okay. Uh,
Very well.
you can tell that she is just a little flustered as she's like, she tries to just sit back and like, all right, you had enough. It's fine.
Just um, there is like um, it's funny like because like Alice is being um like very like unfazed and just acting like this is normal, but there is that very slight. She is watching, she is observing, she is trying to um gauge um you know, is this normal for Casey? Is there anything wrong? Is she okay? That sort of thing. Like, like a very little phases her in terms of like the habits of other people, but she does take care of the people she cares about.
Do you want to roll another insight?
Sure.
18. Nice. So you can tell that you can actually tell a few things. You get the impression that, first of all, she was pretty hungry.
Mhm.
But more importantly, she doesn't typically eat like this. She tends to eat a little bit slower. So you get that when she slows down, that is probably more of her speed.
Okay.
But she probably just ate quickly because she was hungry.
Mm.
However, you also get the feeling that this isn't a common occurrence. It just so happened that she was pretty hungry and maybe her shift was a bit later than anticipated. So, it makes sense. She missed her typical lunchtime. Uh,
Mm. Fair enough. There is a little bit of that eyes narrow for a moment before the smile is back. Like, eh, she's already brought up to Casey, like, are you taking care of yourself? Your health is very important. There's no point beating the same words. Um, uh,
I know what you mean.
yeah, like there's no point bringing something up over and over again. So yeah, just a okay. Um, but other than that, does she seem all right?
You can tell that as she slows down with her eating, um, she has grown a little self conscious. Maybe she is more used to eating on her own.
Mm.
Um, but perhaps she didn't want to be rude and uh, having you like leave the room and have her eat, you know?
Look,
Uh,
Alice would have been
likewise,
fine with that, but she's also completely fine with you eating like she's like I said before, her grandkids do a lot worse. Is like, and I think maybe she even does say that she chuckles and oh, don't mind me, dear. Trust me, I have seen worse. You would not believe the appetite on my grandkids. I swear, the amount of times I have had to rescue my cutlery and plates from them. Yeah, it's hard to beat that.
you see her kind of blink a couple of times, but she just kind of nods. um, and this actually gives you an opportunity to look at her face a little more. Um,
Mhm.
you again, you notice the dot eyes, the button nose, and you can tell her mouth is now just kind of a thin line, not very expressive, uh, along with her eyebrows, which are just kind of three dashes
Mm.
for each eyebrow. They're kind of just patchy. Uh, but
Yeah.
you also notice that her eyes seem a little tired. Not tired to the point of being exhausted, but just general fatigue.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. In that case,
Perhaps this helps.
yeah. In that case, I think she's going to now that she's happy that Casey has been fed and is not in like that's not the immediate priority anymore. It's like, all right, we should get down to business so that so Casey can leave and go home and rest and like not get exhausted again.
Yeah. So, I mean, she does finish her food pretty quickly and goes,
Mm.
do you need any help washing the dishes? I can get that.
Oh no, dear. That'll be a job for later. Trust me. Uh, uh, it's uh, no, it'll be fine. You you said you wanted to come see me for something important.
Uh,
And she is
yes.
like pulling the dishes off the table and just like dropping them um into the sink. And yeah.
Um, and when you say this, she goes, oh, right. Yes. And as her voice kind of grows more serious, the lens flare kind of comes back on. Yes, I brought it here with me. And now that the table's been semi cleared, she sets this black briefcase onto the table. Uh, there's nothing particularly notable about it, it's just a briefcase.
Sorry, I'm just thinking it's a Casey case.
It's a case. Oh my god. Man, beaten at my own game. And yes, do inspirational. I didn't even fucking notice. My brain's just like, oh, it would be nice for it to be in a briefcase. And then, damn. Yeah, no, I know this is an FPS. It usually goes for games, but oh my gosh. Yeah, no, you get a point.
Awesome. I will tuck that away for Alice, probably to use on a perception at some point.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. God, a Casey game. Damn. Beautiful. Um, but speaking of this case, she waits until the table's been cleared and Alice is seated uh back at the table, and and she says, "Okay, so uh, just give me a moment and I'll get it out." Um, so what she does is you can see that there are two clasps on the front of the briefcase. She undoes those latches, uh, opens it up. There's another smaller case in it, It seems
Yep.
to be wrapped in some kind of cloth and tied with string.
Yeah.
She undoes that and unwraps it. This appears to now be a combination lockbox. She puts in a combination uh, very quickly. She opens that. There's another smaller case wrapped in wrapped in cloth
Oh.
again.
Yep.
She undoes that. This box has a standard lock and key. You see her reach uh, reach kind of slightly under her shirt, and there is a key on the end of kind of a chain that she's wearing. She unlocks that, opens it up. There is one more rather small box, uh, but this one doesn't have anything around it. It's just kind of those, you kind of wiggle the lid off of it and it'll slide off.
Yep. Yep.
She does that, and there's some strange wrapped, some very small item. It's not very small, but she kind of gently unfurls it, and there you see um, a a familiar object, something that you saw in winter work.
Yep. Yep.
It's the golden rod.
Mhm. I am not making Alice roll a history because she has a
Yeah.
-2 in intelligence.
Now I would think you remember it.
Yeah, though I do kind of want to roll it for to see whether she knew what Casey was talking about before she opened the briefcase.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like,
Uh,
what is
oh,
it?
actually, she has a +1 in history because she's old.
That's it. Because she handled no. Oh, that's a 12.
12. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, she definitely knew what it might have taken a couple of moments, but she definitely knows what Casey was talking about when she says like, "Ah, yes, it's this thing." And she's like, "Ah, yes, time to get serious."
uh, and she goes, um, yeah, I've kept it in here. I usually keep it in my hammer space. In the cases, I change the combination every 3 days. Make sure to fold it a specific way in case someone does tamper with it. And the key's always on me, so
uh
she just says it so matter of factly.
yeah, like look, Alice is just yep, like again, she's very glad that Casey's taking it seriously, like that this like not that she didn't expect Casey to take this not seriously, but um or to take it seriously, but just more of a uh yeah, that's nice to know. I can't think of anyone who would be better off with it because you know, kind of hard to beat that level of security.
I think she kind of follows Alice's gaze as they kind of both look at all the stuff that she unlocked and unwrapped to get it, and
Yeah.
she just goes, "Don't worry, I got most of this at a flea market."
Ah, good. I was a little bit worried about how much money you had to spend on it, but I'm very glad that you're taking the right precautions.
Well, I mean, and she holds it up delicately. This has the capacity to destroy the entire economy, so it's only natural to kind of keep it secure. So,
Mm-hmm. There's a very serious nod. Yep. Um, have
but
have you worked out
yes.
any more about it?
Well, that's the thing I wanted to discuss as she sets it back down onto the cloth that it was wrapped in. And the thing is, it was foolish of me to think that I could discern anything from it. I don't really have much of it arcane. My knowledge of this is limited at best. Um, I've been uh, trying to do research. I've gone to the library multiple times, but it doesn't seem like I've figured out anything. So I came here to uh, ask if you would like either one of us or both of us to hand it over to the police as uh, specified before.
And her tail is sort of thumping behind her as she's giving this a good thought, good think. Um, and then like a well, I cannot say that I would be much better use. I do not know the arcane any more than you do. Um, um, sorry, I should not be looking at the gallery and trying to be serious at the
Yeah,
same
no, I
time.
am too.
um, and I do worry about handing something like this over to just the. No, do not get me wrong. I trust, I especially trust. And now I've got to think of names on the spot for the two police officers that I came up with at the end of winter works.
I, I don't remember if they had names. I was trying to remember.
No, I
I
didn't
feel
come.
like they did, but I don't recall.
um, no, I'm not. I'm not.
All right.
uh,
We are looking at the gallery. God, this is funny shit, you guys. Okay,
God,
okay.
God,
But
no, but I can't trust them with something like this, dear.
we'll just say that there are names for them, but
Yeah, I will
uh
come up with names for
you
them.
can try and just gloss that over.
Yeah, like it's like I don't know, maybe like a truck goes on, like goes past when she says their names, and so the audience doesn't catch them. Um,
Beautiful.
but it's just like something like this. It's no, you're right. It has the ability to destroy the economy, and it definitely needs to end up with someone who can, for one, work it out, and two, make sure that it doesn't go missing. So, hmm, perhaps, perhaps it might be worth looking around, seeing if there is anyone else we could get in contact with first, and then if that cannot be done, then I will give it to the police. I do not want you to get in trouble for withholding evidence. And another truck goes past as the names are out, and is like, um, know me, and as much as they may be a little bit huffy at me for uh, withholding evidence, I will not get into as much trouble as you might for such a thing.
I I trust your judgment. Um, but then wouldn't it be better if both of us went? Because we both we both technically withheld this from them. And it's only fair that and she kind of trails off, but but you kind of get the impression that yeah, she should probably like she as much as she doesn't want to get in trouble, like perhaps this is, just how things go. So,
There's a That is very noble of you, dear. If if this is what you want, I will not stop you.
would you like to roll insight?
Boy, would I.
Oh my god. Oh my
That's a
god.
nat 20 for a dirty
Holy shit.
25.
Holy crap. Um uh oh, oh.
Reveal to me your
Uh
secrets, Casey.
I cannot wait because this might take a little bit.
Yep.
So, uh so you uh you had been kind of looking from the boxes to the rod, but now you look up at Casey and you realize, um, when you say when you mention how noble that is, her mouth kind of twitches. It seems to be as if it curls up into a bit of a wry smile, something bitter. Um, you suddenly start thinking that perhaps she isn't giving it over just to, set things right. There might be some sort of other motive. You kind of start thinking back, uh, at her behavior in previous situations. She is the responsible and diligent type, but maybe, maybe she's been having trouble with this. Maybe something has changed as she has been looking into researching this rod, and you get this mixture of some sort of guilt, some sort of fear, some kind of. It seems a bit messy, complicated, but she's not quite willing to open that box. But she really wants to. She wants to keep it a secret, but likewise, she she wants to show she wants to show how sorry she is and how terrible it must be for her to think that she could do anything about it, that she could be a hero or anything. And
Uh,
in fact, that that smile quickly goes away, and she goes, so I suppose the best thing is to leave it with you. Um, I can I can just put it back in its small case and give it to you. Uh, and she does go and begin carefully wrapping it back in its cloth.
hmm. Um. Ah. I'm just trying to think. How would Alice respond to that? Because that was a lot.
It was a lot. You could get a lot of. I mean, you got a 25. What do you?
Yeah, yeah, I know, but like, ah, God. Ah, sorry, I'm still trying to figure out how she would respond to that. Um, like in particular, the thing that's sort of gotten her attention is the desire to be, I guess, a hero and a desire to prove that she can do more. And I think eventually she will say, um, you know, dear, there is no shame in admitting that there are just some things that you cannot do. I certainly do not have the skills to be able to decipher more about this item than you have. And I know that you are far more talented at that than I. I've never been good with books, but that does not mean that you cannot do anything.
Okay. So she's rolled a whiz save, but I put it at disadvantage. So that's a
Okay.
9. When you say this, she cannot help but scoff. You think I'm talented? When have I ever shown that?
You.
I
No, keep going.
I've I don't I don't think you understand. This, and she gestures at the rod. I I haven't been saying the whole thing. This has been eating away at me. I should never have been the one to hold on to it. And in fact, for emphasis, she kind of pushes it more towards Alice. I I was not only was I stupid to think I could do something, but I was even more stupid to think that I could keep it together. And she kind of curls up her hands further into fists. I thought I could be slick about it. That maybe, just you told me not to use it and I didn't. But God, was it hard. Because if it was just one thing, maybe I could, I could, I could quit my job and just have enough to float and, but that was very selfish of me. I, and she pushes the box even further towards you. It's very wrong for you to trust me. So I think it's best you hold on to it and and she kind of her lips kind of turn and again into kind of a thin line. I shouldn't. This is the end of the line. I I shouldn't take up any more of your time. And she kind of starts rapidly folding the other boxes into each other to kind of stuff it away into her hammer space.
All right. Alice. Yeah, Alice is going to do this. Alice is going to uh, reach out and sort of grab Casey's hands as she's trying to fold them up to pause her. Um, and
You can tell she jolts for a moment, but she does not pull anything away.
yeah, yeah, she sort of expected that, but this is important, and she goes, "I will hold on to it, but only because it is only because of the pain it is causing you, not because you are not capable of being able to look after it. You are incredibly strong to be able to resist the temptation while being in an incredibly unfortunate and difficult situation of your own, Casey.
Fortunate? Difficult? No, I'm just being childish. She
You are
finishes folding the boxes.
you are not childish for
I should
wanting.
be able to handle it.
My dear, there are a lot of things in life that we feel we should be able to handle, and that doesn't necessarily mean that we are right. I should be able to handle taking care of my house by myself, but I could not. Do you think I'm lesser because I had to ask for your help?
She she looks just slightly puzzled, but shakes her head. No, no.
Likewise,
I
you are not any lesser for struggling in a job you do not like.
I she goes to say more, but she stops.
Furthermore, you are incredibly talented. You did such a good work with helping me organize and clean my house. And might I remind you that you were one of the few people over Animus who had a clear enough and a level enough head to think forward to after the fight.
She kind of you can see that the lens glare vanishes for a moment and you see her blink a couple times. What do you what do you mean?
I mean, the fact that you decided to not engage in the fight and instead make sure that we had some way to deal with them once the fight was over. I mean, the fact that you were willing to make sure that everyone who was not aware of the situation was made aware of the situation. Not everyone has that level of a head in times of crisis, but you did. You knew where your strengths and weaknesses lie, and you were able to work and adapt around them.
You can tell right here once you say that she genuinely looks confused. She's trying to process this, but she looks down and away, slowly nods, but the lens flares back on, and she goes, "Well, thank you. I I think," and she stands up. I think I might just need a moment, and then I'll take my leave. Is that okay?
Of course, dear. Just.
It will only be a moment.
Mm, no, you are always welcome here, and you are not a bother to have around.
That reminds me. She turns slightly back towards you. I I really appreciate it, but she slightly shakes her head. You shouldn't you shouldn't consider me one of your grandchildren. But with that insight that you rolled, um, you realize that that's not out of malice or out of ungratitude. Um, it's more like she's saying, "I don't deserve to be one of your grandchildren." But with that, she turns back around and heads to the restroom, wherever it is, because I forget the layout of the house.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I think it was just down the hall and then like to the right or something like that. I can't remember the layout of the house that well myself.
So she
Though
just
I will
heads over.
say, I will say that you might hear Alice say, as you're leaving, um, sorry, I'm just trying to think of how to word it. We do not often get a choice in what our hearts desire.
Okay. Me. Okay. Great. Cool. All right. Um, she does not stop as she makes her way down to the restroom. Um, she she just you see her open the door and close it, and go inside. Uh, she said that she would only be a moment. And as you sit there, she has left the briefcase. She didn't get a chance to put it in Hammer's space. She actually had left it on the table. She will eventually have to go back for it. Uh,
Yeah.
you sit there and you wait and you wait and you wait. Uh, 5 minutes turns to 10, turns to 20, and you start to wonder what has happened, if anything. I mean, granted, she did just eat a lot, but you don't think that's it.
Yeah, yeah. Look, okay, I will say, I don't think Alice is the best at keeping track of time. Um, and I do think that while Casey is in there, like she did get up and go and deal with the dishes and stuff. But I think it finally gets long enough that that even with her lack of like time and giving him space, that Alice eventually does start to get concerned.
Honestly, Alice, me, has very bad time perception. The big mood.
Yeah, so I think she eventually uh it eventually becomes long enough that she will go up to the bathroom door and just sort of softly knock on it. Is everything all right, dear?
There is no answer.
Okay, Alice. Okay.
You have a couple choices as to what to do.
Yep. Okay. I don't know whether I will go with the immediate thing that comes to mind or whether I because the first thought is like, is she gonna just kick her own bathroom door down? uh, um but I feel like there should be one step between her doing that and that. So I think I'm going to roll her a perception.
Yes, I thought you would. To listen in at the door.
Oh my god!
Oh, 21! Let's go. When it really matters, you roll high.
Yep.
Um, so it probably is also because there's really nobody else around, and as it's gotten a little later, it's gotten a bit quieter. Um, and also, this is your own house. You know how things are supposed to sound.
Yep.
So you kind of lean in very close to the door to listen. Um, and what you can hear is a small muttering voice that you're not quite sure what it's saying because it stops and you hear just shallow shuddering breaths.
Hmm.
Actually, you can hear what has been muttered because I remember what would be muttered.
Fair enough.
Because with that 21, yeah, you could probably hear it. You hear just a single phrase muttered over and over in between uh, gasps of air. You hear, as long as I'm useful, as long as I'm useful.
Oh, honey. Uh, hmm. God, I now I gotta figure out what now I gotta figure out what she's gonna do about this. Sorry, I'm just thinking. Uh, um, I think, I think she's not going to do anything more at the door. I think she will, uh, yeah, I do think she will turn away, and, go, and, um, yeah, I think she's gonna go to the kitchen and make another cup of tea and grab some cookies, and yeah, she's gonna go and set them outside the door with a little a little note attached to it, and she will just whenever you're ready, dear.
You don't hear anything in response.
Um, uh, um, there's not even the muttering anymore.
Uh, no.
Uh,
Well, I will say with your previous perception, uh, you hear that the breathing is still rapid, but kind of softer, as if she is attempting to hide it.
I uh, look like because this is not healthy. This is definitely not healthy for Casey, but also like you've still got to have you've still got to let people have some personal boundaries and like what do you do like there's she she does care about Casey a lot, but she's also like not sure she's equipped to deal with this. Like, she wants to do the right thing, but she doesn't know what it is.
That's perfectly valid.
In fact, you know what she might just do is she probably just uh there's followed by a I'm here if you need it. And she's just going to sit down by up against the door.
Okay. Now I'm thinking of what I'm gonna do. So you don't hear anything else besides what you've heard until you kind of hear the shuffling of shoes, followed by the clattering of a couple objects. Maybe they're maybe she's knocked over something, um, as well as a thud and more clattering.
Okay. That gets a Are you alright in there, dear?
Finally, you hear a voice. I, I'm fine.
If you're sure.
I, you hear the breathing get a little heavier. I'm not.
Alright. Do you want me to come in?
I, I, I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Then we'll how about you tell me what you can see? Name 5 things you can see.
Can't. I can't do much.
Oh, of course you can, dear. Come on. We'll do it together. Um what's normally in a bathroom? Well, there's the sink, right?
There's one, two, no, one.
Yes, very good. There's one sink. And there's the shower.
Sir, shower, shower three. No, just, just one.
Just the one. Very good. Very good. You're so good at this, dear. And there's the towel rack.
Why so many? No, not that. How? Focus.
You've got this, dear.
I,
Can you count how many towels are on the towel rack?
how? I, six, four, no, three. I,
3. Yes, there are 3 towels on the towel rack. You are so good at this.
no, I'm not. I'm not good. I'm not good.
You are, dear. You may not feel like it at the moment, but you are. Now, how about on the sink? Is there should be soap?
So, 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 right, right. You hear one or two clattering sounds. Clean, clean.
Mm,
You hear more shuffling, and then you hear the water running.
Casey, dear, can you still hear me?
Clean. Just be clean.
Okay. Now she's coming in.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Are you coming in uh quietly? Are you coming in just coming in
just normally. Just a
normally?
yeah, just a dear, I'm going to be entering the bathroom.
No. No. You kind of hear something drop. You're not sure what, but uh but I'm assuming you have entered the room.
Yes, I think she has at this point.
Um and you do see something someone uh they I guess had fallen down. You see them shuffle back, uh, trying to get into the corner of the room. Um, and you recognize Casey's uniform, Casey's hair, but her glasses are off, and something is wrong. You see one hand clasped around her mouth, another one holding the top of her head, um, and you see another arm holding back against the wall, another arm on resting on the ground. Uh, this seems like too many arms. Um, and you see no longer two eyes staring fearfully at you, but those eyebrows weren't eyebrows, were they? You see them all open, all eight eyes. And I'm going to post the ref.
Oh.
Yay! It's a bit sketchy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um, but where is it? I hate to ruin the tension, but
No, it's all good.
you see Casey looks much different.
Oh, come on, computer, let me see.
Um,
Oh.
she's trying to cover as much as she can, but no, there is no hiding it. Tries to say silent, but she holds a hand out back as if to try to keep her back, keep you back, away from her.
I think Alice isn't going to get any closer. She's just going to crouch a little bit and. You're alright, dear. It's okay.
You can hear her shuddering breath behind her hand. All of her eyes are fixed on you.
And Alice is going to look around a little bit and see, you did a really good job. I can see one shower and one sink and 3 towels.
She makes no motion. She is staying, despite her trembling, she is trying to stay in the same position, just stay perfectly still.
Just, oh my dear, you've been through a lot, haven't you?
She does not immediately respond, but you can tell that when you say this, there are tears that begin to prick near her eyes. But she does not cry. She remains silent.
Oh, I think Alice is going to She's gonna sort of open her arms as the only if you want to.
You do when you do this, you see two of the arms reach forward, but one of the arms holds another back. The two affixed to her head remain there. The one holding it out, like the one arm holding out sign, extends further. You could hear her say, "No, I, I can't stay, stay away."
Okay. How come?
I, I'll, I'll hurt you. I'll get you sick. Please.
All right. What makes you say that?
This, this wasn't supposed to happen. She looks away now. Listen,
Many things in life do not go in the way we expect them to.
um, you see again two of the arms attempting to reach forward again, but she keeps holding herself back. I, this isn't, and she kind of shuts her eyes very tightly. Just don't, don't look at me. I'm not supposed to. And she doesn't say much more.
All I see is Casey Nash, still the same person who has helped me out on more than one occasion.
You only hear her shallow breaths for a moment before she says behind her hand, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not I'm not good enough. I'm not. I'll only hurt you."
You are good enough, and you have not hurt me yet. Even if you do, I know that is not your intention, and it is not all that you are good for. Okay?
Uh, she she begins to cry and then sob. The two arms uh, reaching for Alice continue to reach, and slowly, carefully, another two arms kind of start uh, pushing her away from the wall towards you. Her
Mm.
legs kind of they kind of try to just shuffle forward a bit. She's still not standing. She's it's as if she's trying to crawl to you.
Alice is just staying where she is. Like she's not moving. Uh she's being incredibly patient. Just, she is here. She is not going away anywhere, but neither is she going to force her to do anything she does not want. And the offer still stands. She will, yeah, she's still Casey is still welcome to a hug.
So slowly, almost painfully, she kind of drags herself across the floor to you. And with trembling hands, she reaches out. The hands clasping her head, they move away. And you can now see that she has been hiding quite a lot, not just this. What you see before you right now is not a monster, as she would claim, but just scared, scared girl. And with little hesitation, she moves a bit forward and clasps onto you with four of her arms.
Yeah. Alice will enclose her in a hug and just hold her very close and very gently. And I think you are not the first I have met to think they were a monster, and to have others treat them as such. My wife was a real kind dragon and had experienced a lot of pain at the hands of others before I met her. It took her a lifetime, but I loved her every second of it.
You only feel her sob harder as she kind of just buries her face in your shirt. And you have a feeling now she's not just crying because she's upset, she is crying for you.
I'm alright. Yes, it still hurts, but I still have many others in my life who I care for and who care for me. That is the way of life. We choose to love knowing that we can lose them. And that's okay because there is still more to love. Every hurt and all of the bad things are worth it for the good that comes out of it too. And that's true for you too, my dear. The good in you is worth far more than the bad could ever bring.
And you hear a small voice. You still think good?
Yes, everything I have ever said about you still stands, maybe even more so.
You can tell at this point that that she is starting to calm a bit. And ever so slowly, um, you had four pairs of arms around you, but you feel two of them begin to retract a bit.
Okay. Um, like Alice is like she will loosen her arms a little bit, like you can pull back if you want to.
Uh, as you loosen your grip just a little, um, her grip on you has not lessened, uh,
Fair
but
enough.
you can see from your vantage point uh, that the other two arms, the other four arms, have now started retracting, and you realize maybe things are going back, and she slowly lifts her head to look up at you. Um, and her other eyes are now shut. Her two eyes looking at you.
Hmm.
I, I'm sorry.
Whatever for, dear. You have nothing to apologize for.
And she looks genuinely puzzled. I've wasted your time. I've wrecked your bathroom. And she turns her head, and you can see that there are like shampoo bottles and towels kind of just in slight disarray.
I think there is just a little laugh at that, like a genuine like laugh that sort of comes from her belly that you can feel, and she goes, "Oh, my dear, you could never waste my time, and trust me, Mr. Snuggles has done far worse to this very room too."
She sniffles a little, and you can see her mouth kind of wiggle a little into a bit of a smile as she does chuckle a bit.
I think at that sort of response, she might take that as a good sign to launch into a little bit of a story about the first time she ever tried to bath Mr. Snuggles and the entire disarray that the bathroom ended up with is like, I had to replace everything in this room,
Oh no.
including the tiles, I might add.
But
Oh yes, I still have I've still kept some of them as souvenirs. I can show them to you if you would like.
and she continues to laugh and kind of wipes at her face. Um, she does seem to at least be at least a little calmer. You can feel that she is a bit less tense, uh, but she also has more fatigue than before. In that, man, that was kind of exhausting.
Yeah, yeah. I think um if Casey is alright with it, I think she will sort of um try to slowly maneuver them up and back to the lounge room, to get them both situated on a couch. As she will continue just talking, telling Casey about many stories about Mr. Snuggles and probably a few about her late wife as well, and some of the things that none of the heavy stuff, just some of the more like fond memories she has of the little things.
She is actually, when you try to maneuver, she does seem tentative about letting go, but then she,
Oh
you
no,
kind of see
Alice
she
is
gets
not
a
letting
little,
her go. She's just like sort of
oh.
moving them together, still in the hug.
It's there's a bit of shuffling, a bit of waddling about, like, well.
Yep.
But you can tell that as you make your way to the lounge, she kind of starts looking a little flustered, a little embarrassed, because her face is a little bit of a mess, and she's kind of just clinging on, similar to a child.
I
But
mean, hey, there's no one to see. The house is still very secluded. There is no one around. The television is still playing in the background with Le Gasp.
and
And
as she glances
yeah,
at
and
their
if Casey looks outside, she can see Mr. Snuggles digging up the flower beds.
at that, she does start to laugh some more. And now you don't know if she's crying or laughing or both.
Fair enough. Alice is not going to push that again. She's in the mode of storyteller, of warm of warm family stories, of shenanigans, of simple day-to-day joys, and the the things that bring her happiness, which is people, which is Casey too.
uh, and if there is if there is a one or two moments of silence, uh, she does offer a couple stories of her own, whether it's working at the store or previous outings with her family. And
And
yes,
Alice will give all of the appropriate audience responses to that, like, oh, she did what? and, and
I
like,
know.
and no, go on, and ah, and yeah, all of those. And like, Alice like will not say anything about the time or any pressure on that. Like, Casey is welcome to stay here as long as she wants, and if she falls asleep on the couch, then that's a success in Alice's book.
Yeah. Fact, you say that. She does actually start looking just a little drowsy, but when things quiet down a little, um, you see her face grow just a little solemn. And after a beat of silence, she says, "I I really am sorry. I, that doesn't usually happen outside the house." Um, the and she kind of makes a vague gesture to herself.
Again, you have nothing to apologize for. I will take it as a compliment that you feel comfortable enough to share these things with me, even if that might not have been a conscious decision.
She just slowly nods. Um, it's it's been like this since I was young, and usually I can. She kind of squeezes her eyes shut a little. Usually I can keep it in check. It's just right now I she breathes a sigh. I was just I just I didn't want you to hate me.
My dear, I could never hate you. And I know that I cannot stop you from doing what makes you feel most comfortable. But you do not have to ever hide from me.
Takes She takes a deep breath and slowly nods. I At the very least I owe you some kind of explanation, right?
Only if you want to.
Oh, and she kind of brings her knees up to her chest. I hadn't quite told anyone else, but it's been like this for a while. Um, I don't wear the gloves and the mask just for um, germs. I mean, it helps. But see, she looks off to the side and then refocuses. Um, I have been cursed with this since birth. Um,
I see.
it, see, but it wasn't initially for me. I figured it out on my own. See, my mother, she's a real kind. She's a she's a drow. She she was supposed to be cursed. I don't know what she did, but I doubt that she really deserved it. But yes, she was able to make some sort of deal in which it would affect her firstborn instead. I don't blame her for that. Sometimes you've got to protect yourself. But of course, she gives a bit of a wry smile. I was the firstborn, the only one. So that's where I got it. Um, I She swallows hard. I also wear these because I don't. Well, I have the limbs, but I don't have fangs. They my I am still venomous though. It's secreted through the skin and
Ah,
saliva. And she again rubs at her face and tears. So
do not worry. I've been adventuring for a long time. I have a few things on hand for myself.
I bet you do. You know a lot about stuff. So
I've been around for a while, but there are still many things that I do not know.
Yes, same here. But she goes to say something, but she holds back. Um, the the glasses aren't a joke or anything. Um, of course, since I mostly just function with two eyes, sometimes it needs some uh, magnification. And she kind of uh, holds the glasses in front of her, like, yeah.
You do get a you and me both, dear. She sort of gestures at her own little like rim spectacles that she has.
Yeah, just, I mean, I know you wouldn't, but just for my own sake. And she turns to look at you. Just don't tell anyone.
Of course. This will be our secret. And, well, who knows what the future holds? Perhaps there's a
Uh,
cure out there for you yet.
a, a cure. I again, she does actually look surprised. I I don't I wasn't thinking of a cure. I don't think there is one at all. And she kind of looks at her hands. I I wouldn't know where to start. I mean, it really isn't that bothersome. Just
Well, I suppose it starts where every journey and adventure starts, one step at a time. And you're right, maybe there is no cure. But that doesn't mean that you have to be unhappy or be unloved.
she breathes a sigh. She she blames herself, you know. My mom. If I were to get cured, I would do it for her. It no longer bothers me.
But it bothers her still.
And I know she hides it, but I know. I was a bit of a snoop when I was a kid. So,
Really? No.
yeah, it's true. Uh, well, yeah, I figured it out the hard way. But you know, you want the truth.
Only if that is what you want to give.
Well, I'm tired. I'm I'm tired, and she kind of just yells it. Uh, she she's saying it less to you and more to the space, the world, everyone. I am tired. Ugh.
Well, Don't let me stop you from going apeshit.
Oh, she she has this sudden boisterous laugh.
It's just that, what? You think I never learnt anything from Buttercup?
No, I don't doubt it. And she kind of wipes again at her face. I, I, I think, I think there's more I could learn too, and I think it starts with that damn job.
Yes. If you are unhappy there, you should not have to work there. I I do not know how much independence you want, but do know that I will support you any way I can with this. Sometimes people just need that little bit of a boost.
Yeah, you're right. I I appreciate that, and she stands up. Thank you. Um, she looks a little flustered again. Um, I think maybe I should probably go home. But I really appreciate um what you've done for me, for all of us in the group. Um,
Of course, dear. It has been an honor to be able to do so much for you young ones. And you are always welcome around. And you're always welcome to stay the night. And you are always welcome to come for dinner, lunch, breakfast, afternoon tea, morning tea, dessert. I love the company.
you can tell that she is now again almost on the brink of tears, but she only sniffles a little and nods. Thank you.
Besides, I've gotta let something keep me busy in my old age. Otherwise, I might go rusty.
Oh, I doubt that.
Yes, maybe that's a little far, but. And she just winks.
She hesitates. She wants to say something, and then she does. Um, and she says something in a language that you know.
Oh,
She says something, just a phrase, in Draconic. Again, it's thank you.
you. She just beams and like there's such a look of happiness on her face but she just responds back in draconic. You're welcome, my dear.
Uh, She also beams, and she can't help but smile. And then she realizes, yeah, I think Mm, I think I do need to go home. And now she's looking down at herself. And you both realize she actually has torn a little bit of her uniform with the turning earlier. She's like, uh-oh. Uh maybe I should just and she's kind of she's trying to get her stuff ready, like, oops,
You know, um, would you like me to teach you how to sew?
uh um I mean that would uh I mean if and she seems a little indecisive, but from the look in her eye, you kind of get that she does want to.
Well, tell you what. Um, how would you feel about spending the night and keeping me company? And I can teach you how to mend your clothes, and we can catch up on what's been happening on Legasp together.
She cannot help uh, but grin. Um, yeah.
Besides, I think Mr. Snuggles has been enjoying having the company at the moment, and as if on cue, there is a
Uh oh.
skittering and like a as Mr. Snuggles come in, completely covered in dirt, tracking dirt into the house and like
Oh.
round the lounge room before sort of like with a tail wag of hi, are you proud of me? I've been redecorating outside.
uh,
Yes, look what I did. And it just sort of sits like yeah in front of Casey with the tail going. It's like, hi, hi, are you going to give me pats?
and, and it looks like she wants to take a step back. She has her hands kind of up, and she's like, ah. She crouches down a little, and you can tell she's extremely hesitant. She very creakingly puts out a hand, like, okay, we're gonna do this, and just gives a very slight pat.
And Mr. Snuggles goes absolutely wild. You only get the moment to like do the slight touch before it's just like pats and just like goes nuts under your hand until like so that you know you're not touching him anymore. It's just like the just the pats. I'm getting pats.
And she just very delicately just does one or two more pats. Like,
Yeah, there's still more excited wiggling before Mr. Snuggles has gone and is like bringing back Casey some of their toys and um there's a giant stick that they get stuck trying to bring through the front through the side
cool.
door. This is just like I am showing you all of the things that I have done and played with today.
Okay, careful. Oh, that's she's almost overwhelmed with either the amount of toys, the amount of dirt, the amount of excitement.
Yes, I think Alice is like, yes, yes, I know you're excited. No, put that down. That's supposed to stay outside. And then there's like a bit of a tug of war between her and the dog at the door.
Yeah. And um, uh, I feel like unless there's anything you want to add, we could end it there on that very comical note, as everyone is kind of giggling and and just vibing.
Yes. I feel like that's a amazing note to leave it off on.
um, and
Yeah.
well, thank you very much for having me, Kendall.
Oh, thank you for playing with me, Wick. This was an absolute delight. Like,
um,
yeah, it's been so good.
I I thank the listeners, both
Yeah.
present and future.
You
Uh,
guys are also were also a delight.
yes, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.